and we're going to talk golf. We've got to be talking to Craig Edwards. Craig, we hit the post last week. Wiesberger, Schwab. We had a few. The boys got returns on their bets, but we didn't actually hit the jackpot. Can we hit the jackpot this week?
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, it's a bit folly to be overconfident at golf, but I really like the look of the week at the start. So I'm pretty confident. I'll see what I'm saying on Sunday night. But yes, I think we can. Yeah,
I mean, this is a course where there's sometimes like first-time winners, but it really is horses for courses. I mean, we get that quite a lot, but in this case, it really does stand true.
Yeah, I think the horses for courses stands up a bit more on courses which cannot be overpowered. So that brings into all the other professionals that earn their living, and sometimes when they're playing the monsters courses, they feel a little bit inadequate, and the big boys can make them look that way. But put them on a fiddly track where you've got to position your ball and play smart golf, and this is what Greenbrier has been over the years. So, yeah, it brings everyone into the equation.
Yeah, on the coast, West Virginia, been battered recently by them big winds, and obviously Hurricane Dorian going up that east coast. So I think we've got the right players in the right spots. Let's go. I mean, you were kind enough to send me over your picks. I've got the graphics for them as well for people to have a look at. Let's start with your top of the rest of the world, David Hearn, each way at 23.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. He's been on and off tour the last 2 years. I think going back to 17, a couple of years ago, he led his own Canadian Open after 54 holes. They've never had a home winner. And he got pipped by Jason Day. He didn't do that much wrong. And he's been struggling. But I've made a few bob on David Hearn over the years. He's quite a real workhorse, especially on TPCs. 4 top 20 finishes he's got here. The real interesting thing, though, is that the other week at the Corn Ferry Championships, he went back to try and get his full playing privileges. And on the last day, he went into the final round in 42nd position, so he knew he needed a good round. He got it round in 66 to get one of the 25 players' cards. And I've got to feel that they've changed this tournament in the schedule as well. This will be one of his favourite events, if not the favourite. And there he is. He's just qualified. He should be feeling cock-a-hoop, and he's going to probably one of his favourite events. So a good time to get our money on him.
Nothing better than focusing the mind of losing your card. It's amazing how many players do that. They do it with the FedEx as well. When they've the fear of missing out, they focus that mind and they seem to get the job done. And also it takes that monkey off their back. I mean, they're not carrying that huge weight on them. They now can plan for the year ahead, and they know that if they have a good start, because the big guns don't turn up at these tournaments, so there's more points, there's more money to be had, they can sort of wrap up the season after next very, very quickly. Let's stay with David Hearn, top 40 at 3.10 with Paddy Power.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a lock and a banker for the week for people. Top 20 if you can't get top 40, but Paddy Power, a couple of other firms bet top 40 as well. If you can get on him, I think pretty much you should be odds on for the top 40 finish. You've got to remember, like you just said there, Flash, these lads are coming in, they're keen to earn the money. Players can be over the top for the season, the established players, and these lads from the Corn Ferry series, they're going to be really sharp. So I like him in all markets. So if you can get top 40, get top 40. If not, go to top 20.
Okay, we're going to move on. This is an interesting one and not really normally your bag, but Cameron Tringale, top 5 at 19 with Unibet.
Yeah, well, this would have paid out twice in the last 6 times he's played here. Second half of last season, I'm not a big stats man, but I do like him to back up what I'm thinking sometimes, if it kind of suits me, I suppose. And Cameron Tringale's stats were outstanding. There was 3 players whose stats were better than their results. And one was Cameron Tringale, Connors and Hovland were the other 2. And that suggests he was just not doing it as much as he should on the putting green. He likes it here, and like you just said there, this is a perfect opportunity in Flash to get the money in the bank, the points on the board, he's winless in his career on the PGA Tour, so he never has that exemption. So he needs to earn money, and coming to his favourite venue, he's a course specialist, just like David Hearn. Again, he's a perfect bet this week in the place markets.
Okay, we're going to move on because this one I know is your nap of the weekend. Jason Kokrak, top 20, 2.38. He's odds on with some firms.
I'm not surprised. I mean, again, another winless player on the PGA Tour, and people would think, can't make money. Well, you can make money out of him because he is so reliable. Last season, he finished 9th on the Tour standings without winning a tournament. That's with all them big boys, all through a season, and he finishes 9th. That tells you how consistent he is. Last year here, he was 3rd to Kevin Na, and again, he looks an absolute perfect bet. The only downside, he's probably not as hungry as the other two, but he's still winless. So you've got to believe that he's now wanting to win tournaments. We've taken the safe bet, but he's so consistent. I think he's had 12 out of the last 20 in the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Jason Kokrat and I have him down as like a walk-in ATM. He cashes every week. He makes them cuts and he's always in with a shout. He's almost like the present day, even though Charles Howell III's doing it himself still, he's almost like a Charles Howell III. He's always there or thereabouts. He doesn't miss many cuts. He gets paid. So, and also when he looks at this competition, he's 3rd in the outright betting. That there is a confidence boost in himself because it's not how he feels. That's a reflection on how the outside world feel. So, yeah, I think Jason Cockrat's got to be full of beans. I think he's got to be walking tall. Now, the other one is the Swede, David Lingmuth, top 20 at 7.
Yeah, this is a bit of one. So, he's got 4 top 20s here. He has been out of form this season. All his best results, most of them, not all, most of them appear to be on TPCs, and that's often a good guideline because TPCs are never usually overpowered. He nearly won at Sawgrass the other year. He got in a playoff at the Stadium course with Duffner, and he was in a real bad spell of form, and then I think it was the Barbazol or the Barracuda. He opened with 79, and people missed him missing the cut. You just see MC, and you think, well, he's played rubbish. But the second round, he shot 63. Next week, he had a top 20 finish, and he had obviously found something in his game that had made a difference. Since he went home to Sweden to play in the Scandinavian Invitation 2 weeks ago, he missed the cut. But I did follow him, and he was actually 4 under at one point in the opening round. So I think the form is there. He likes the course. It's definitely, it's not a banker, but I do think there's value in supporting David Lingmuth this week in the top 20. Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to go with David Lingmuth, you've got to hope that he has one of them streaky weekends with the putter because he's a good long iron player. He's straight on the tee. He's not the longest of hitters. I think he's only about 5'7", 5'8", which obviously with the giants of the 6'4" and 6'5", Peters and Wiesberger, obviously they're not in it this week, but just like the type of players that do play on this tour, then it's all about, and in fact, we're going to say about his height not being one of the biggest. I'll flick onto that in a minute. Let's have a look at the outrights. You've given me 5. I'm going to add to it. And just to give you a clue, he's not one of the tallest players either. So let's have a look at these outrights, please, Rafa. We're going to go with Russell Henley at 41. Got a good record round here.
Yeah, superb record. 3 top 10s his last 3 times here. Pretty poor last season in the early part, but then he had a second place at the John Deere Classic about 4 starts ago. And I think after a bad season, he's going to be keen to hit the ground running and start to kind of re-establish himself back on the PGA Tour. Yeah, he's another 54-old player for me. Or he always throws a dodge one in on a Saturday, shoots a low one Sunday, and he's always ruined that Saturday, or he's up there after Saturday night and he drops away on the Sunday. But he is they say that he's one of the best ball strikers on tour. What about Robert Streb, 66s? Interesting, really interesting player. He plays his best golf at this time of year, and do they call it the fall over there at this time of year?
Yeah, so, in the summer.
And he's won his tournaments in October, the McColdry Classic the other year, and so this year he's been poor. And then about 2 months ago, he suddenly starts to play well. He's got pressure on him to keep his card. He gets a top 5 finish. Then he goes to the Corn Ferry, makes another top 5 finish, locks up his card, and then he's coming here this week. Well, the last 2 seasons he's been second. Even amongst all the abject displays, he's been second at this course. So he's a real course specialist. And I think he was 11th the year before that. You can't not bet him this week. There is just no way around not betting him. He's a perfect chance. He's playing well. He's sharp off the Corn Ferry series. And he has everything in his favour.
Rafa, can we put that caption up again, please, of the outrights? Because you got Brendan Haggy there at 101, Brendan Todd at 126, and Tom Potter at 201. Tom Potter, he's won round here in 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and he's had a 6th place finish as well. He's a real inconsistent sort of player, but as we saw at Pebble Beach last year, he can get the job done. He held off all the superstars down the stretch. Got to say, I had a little bet on him that time at 500, so he's a real favourite of mine. And thing is, last year he was poor most of the year, but then at the Rockets Classic he was 4th. That's only 4 starts ago, and he started making cuts. Again, very similar to all the players we've picked this week. He's going to want to hit the ground running and re-establish himself on the tour, because I think his exemption will be running out this season.
Okay, and I'm just going to add one there, as I always do. Got to have me 2 penneth. Last year's winner, Kevin Na. A new Kevin Na we see on the tour this year. He's already won. I know we're in a new season after the FedEx, but Kevin Na, 33-1, 5th of the odds, top 8. If there was a course that suits Kevin Na on hitting fairways, hitting greens, putting, walking them in, and hopefully, I know you haven't put him down, but I hope I'm going to talk you into just having an interest, because then we can both cheer him on come Sunday afternoon. At 33-1, maybe gets bigger if you shop around, but I'm definitely having a piece of Kevin Na. But I'm not letting Potter go without having a few shekels on as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kevin Na's a rock solid pick this week. I mean, my scenario for not putting him in my picks was that it means he's going a back-to-back champion, which doesn't happen a lot on the PGA Tour, but I'm not sure. I was so strong on my other picks, I've left him out on that scenario, but to be truthful, that is not really a good scenario to leave anyone out.
No, especially Kevin Na, because we're seeing a more confident Kevin Na this year. He's only a 5'6", 5'7", and that might be me giving him a couple of inches, but actually walking in this field, he's like 6'2", 6'3", because he does mix it with Tiger. We go back to the players when they're walking putts in. The crowd love him, and he's a winner this year. So I don't think he's carrying much baggage. He's free riding, and I think this course suits him right down to the ground as long as that putter's working.
Absolutely, and you can go back to the TPC at Sawgrass. Some of his best performances are there, and I think some players are late maturing. Suddenly, although they haven't won a lot, they become so comfortable in their own skin. In the end, they just say, oh, fair enough, I haven't won a lot, but next time I'm going to get the job done. You know, you don't have to beat yourself up because you've not won on your career. It doesn't mean it's a failure. You know, he's earned millions and he's been a great player. And there's been quite a few over the years. Lauren Roberts, you know, he went a record amount without ever winning. Then when he won about 7 times. So,
yeah, history tells us to follow them players once they get into the winner's enclosure, and follow them players that are top 10, top 20 at the same courses year in, year out. Craig, top me hat to you. We'll have a chat next week. Obviously, good luck with the snooker as well. And and let's hope Sunday night we're cashing in and we've put people in the right direction.
Let's hope so, Flash.
Cheers, Craig. Top man. Thanks, mate.